All right. Well, I've been sitting at my desk, um, kind of putting off starting this stream for about the last 15 minutes, but I guess I'm just going to get on with it. So, we kind of talked about this on WAN Show, but there's been a little bit of drama, and then as of today, there's been more drama around Linus Media Group, Linus Tech Tips, me personally, whatever entity you want to focus your ire at. Um, Running out and copyright striking other content creators. And so I typed myself up some notes here to hopefully address this and lay it to rest once and for all. So, when it comes to, I guess the first thing I want to do is sort of ask our community, the broader YouTube community in general, just people, ask them to try to think critically anytime they run up against some kind of accusation. Like, I'm not saying that all accusations should be dismissed. I'm just also not saying that all accusations should be taken entirely at face value and then just run with. So here are some of the questions that I would probably ask myself if I were to encounter any sort of drama, not just YouTube drama. Who are the stakeholders here? What do they individually stand to lose or gain? What is the actual solution to this problem? Who has the power to enact that solution? Where could I find more information about what's going on? Is it worth the time that I'm investing to find that information? In the case of the particular thing that's going on where people are receiving content ID notifications, not to be confused with a copyright strike. I'll talk about that later. But in the case of people receiving these content ID notifications, have these people actually contacted Linus Media Group about it directly? We actually have a contact us email on our corporate website. We also have a contact us email for Linus Tech Tips specifically on our YouTube channel. That stuff does get monitored on business days, mind you. Like, this is my long weekend. It's family day here in British Columbia. But I'm dealing with this instead of doing what I would really much rather be doing. Here are some other questions we can ask ourselves whenever we encounter drama. What else is already posted in the comments on the video? Is there something with a ton of upvotes that sort of answers my question? Am I being manipulated to join a crusade? Is it based on ignorance, or is there some kind of agenda? So those are all the just general questions that I'd really like people to ask themselves whenever they are sort of called to join a cause. With the most important ones, I think, being who are the stakeholders? What do they stand to lose and gain? What is the actual solution, and what could or has already been done about it? And then for myself personally, this has been kind of frustrating, offensive, hurtful. I'm there's a bunch of different words for it, because the questions that I'd like you guys to ask yourselves about me and my company specifically is Linus Media Group some kind of monster that's not still run by real people who give a shit, as opposed to some nameless, faceless corporation. Like, yeah, we're on the bigger side, especially of tech YouTube channels, but that doesn't mean that we've worked hard to get here. It's not like we got there by being, jerks or anything. We haven't, engaged in market manipulation or any other unfair competitive practice. Another question to ask yourself is the behavior that Linus Media Group's being accused of, or Linus personally is being accused of, is that in character? Is Linus pro-censorship? Does he silence criticism? Is that behavior that anyone has actually encountered from us in the past? And if we haven't, then, is it maybe worthwhile to give the benefit of the doubt? So, all right, now we're past sort of the preface to the stream. So let's get into some of the points that I've more completely prepared. I was like sitting inside my car, having sort of scrolled through some comments on the forum, some comments on YouTube, trying to figure out sort of what I need to address. So I wrote myself up kind of a little script here, but of course it's all in my own words. Just if you guys see me kind of looking down, it's because I'm looking at the screen. I'm just streaming this off a webcam at my house. So here's the deal. Oop, I think I just shook the camera. Sorry about that, guys. So I'm not going to be naming any of the individuals that are stirring the pot here, because my general policy when it comes to public drama is one of zero acknowledgement. Like, if there's a legitimate grievance, no problem. Get in touch. We'll do our best to solve it. I think we have a pretty good reputation, not just among viewers, but within the creator community as being an organization. Like, not just me, of course, there's 20 plus people that work at Linus Media Group, but being an organization that just generally cares about fixing problems and doing the right thing. The point is, anyone that I have publicly feuded with or beefed with, I both like and respect in private. Like, these are people that I would sit down and have a drink with at a trade show. Not that I drink, but I can have water, they can have something stronger, whatever works for them. I'm not actually monitoring chat right now because I'm reading my thing, but hopefully the stream is working properly and stuff. Yeah, it seems like it's fine. So back to the question of agendas. This is the most important thing to think about. Again, I'm not going to be naming any names for reasons that I've explained already, but I will say that at least one individual out there who has drawn attention to the matter of these Linus Tech Tips Content ID flags. Okay, so this person, rather than simply disputing the claims, and don't bother speculating about who it is because there's so many people that are complaining about it at this point, and I'll get into why there's a bunch of people complaining about these Content ID flags and why that's happening in a little bit. But there's so many people, you're probably not going to guess the one that I'm talking about, which is the only reason that I'm allowing myself to allude to this. But at least one of the people, rather than simply disputing the Content ID claims per the standard operating procedure, took their problem public rather than just emailing me. And I know that at least one of these people, more than one actually, more than one of these people have my contact information, my personal contact information from applying for a job at Linus Media Group in the past, one that they obviously didn't get. So I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in the way that some people have handled this without just talking to me when they obviously have my contact info, which hasn't changed in the entire time that Linus Media Group has existed. And I never win myself any friends when I say stuff like this, but that's not really the goal of today's stream. I'm a little disappointed in the community. Not necessarily over on the forum. By and large, the folks over there have been more understanding and have dug a little deeper for the facts before raising their pitchforks. But the YouTube viewer community, more broadly, I've been disappointed in the way that some individuals have just assumed that I'm some kind of, wielder of, the copyright ban hammer without any regard for fair use or for smaller creators, or that I'm some kind of anti-competitive asshole. Based on what evidence is this assumption being made? Am I automatically evil for a problem with an automated system that I don't control, a problem that was brought to my attention literally on Friday morning? Or do we live in a place where you are guilty until proven innocent? Maybe there's another way of saying that you should be assumed innocent until proven guilty. Why don't we assume the best of people until we are presented with incontrovertible evidence that they are actually acting out of malice? So then, with that in mind, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of the vitriol that I've been getting over the last couple of days, and I'm going to assume that everyone who was dishing it out did it out of ignorance rather than out of some kind of ill will. So I want the rest of the stream to be more about educating people rather than sort of complaining about the situation. All right. Someone on our forum actually did a better job of this than I probably could have. It's an excellent post. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it out so that you guys can fully understand the difference between a content ID claim and a copyright strike, because they are spectacularly different. So it was posted by Spotty over on our forum. Actually, I can, hopefully this works. I'm going to screen share with you guys. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Cool. So Spotty posted in response to someone else. You seem to be misinformed. There is a huge difference between a copyright claim and a takedown notice resulting in a copyright strike. Copyright claims, which was what happened to one of the people that made a video, are often, actually, as far as I know, they just are, an automatic process where content, actually, no, that's correct. Often, not always, because we actually ran into one that was on purpose or one that was manual a little while ago. We included a few notes of a song in the cheap 4K TV video. The video has since been edited and we've got monetization re-enabled on it. But yeah, no, it can be manual. So an often, see, like I said, Spotty did it better than I could. Often automatic process where Content ID detects that a portion of your copyrighted content has appeared in another video on YouTube and will issue a copyright claim on the video. So that video remains public and viewable, not always viewable everywhere, because sometimes it will be blocked off in like certain regions per the copyright holder's guidelines. However, what happens after that point is that any ad revenue generated by the video may be redirected to the original copyright holder. So there's no actual punishment for the channel when this Content ID copyright claim is made against them. They only lose the revenue for the video. Okay. So now that we've got all that, obviously this is not a perfect solution, because what if someone submitted a mashup of YouTuber reaction videos, and then all 9 of the people in the 3x3 tile of reacting to whatever it is, or 8, I guess it would be, because the original content would be in the middle. What if they all submitted Content ID claims? Well, I don't know how you split something 8 ways. I don't think it's actually that granular. So it's obviously not a perfect system, and there's a lot of room for false positives. But there's no punishment for the channel. There's no long-term impact, just the revenue and just on that particular video. Now, copyright strikes or takedown notices. So this is like DMCA stuff. That's what The Verge did to Kyle. Okay, so that's when the copyright owner manually issues a legal notice that the video is infringing on their copyright, and they demand that the video be removed from the platform. So the channel then receives a strike against their channel, which comes with punishments, such as losing the ability to live stream. Just one strike and you can't live stream anymore, and can even come with the potential to be demoted in terms of YouTube serving your content to people, although I don't think that's ever actually been confirmed. And then after multiple copyright strikes, so remember, this is DMCA takedowns, the channel can be removed completely. I think it's 3, might be 4, don't quote me on that. So that's really different. And that is not what is happening right now. So what's happening is Content ID claims, and what is not happening is manual DMCA takedowns. So Content ID claims are handled by YouTube algorithmically. So our MCN full screen is making sure that people aren't re-uploading our videos, because that does actually happen a lot. And that way, we don't have to pull all that crap down and go through it manually, fill out a bunch of annoying paperwork. Just if people re-upload our videos, we just take the AdSense. Fine, who cares? No big deal. The only times that we have issued DMCA takedowns are for people who are uploading content that is supposed to be on other sites, such as, hold on, Nick's messaging me. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Thank you, Nick. There we go. So let's go back to that. What was I talking about? Right. Okay. So there was something that I wanted to add. So Content ID. On top of it not having any long-term ramifications for the channel, aside from just losing the revenue on that video, if you believe for whatever reason that Content ID claim is not valid, you can dispute it, and I'm actually going to walk you guys through the process for how to dispute a content ID claim. I'll show you. I'm going to dispute one on my channel right now. If you dispute it in a timely manner, it actually doesn't even affect the monetization of the video either. So it's some period of days, like you don't have to do it 10 minutes after you get it, but I also wouldn't wait for a week or a month or whatever else. But if you do it right away, then there is literally no impact whatsoever other than to help train the YouTube algorithm. So let's go ahead and fire up. Here we go. Hopefully I am doing all this correctly. Yep, seems fine. Okay, so let's fire up a video here. We've actually gotten a ton of content ID claims over the last, probably I'd say week or so, including some from our own channels against our own channels. Just because it is my belief that they have made some changes to the content ID system, making it a little bit more sensitive. It's, again, my belief, I don't have any proof of this, but that it is due to the ongoing Chapter 13 stuff that's going on in the EU. But I've disputed most of them, so you'll see that most of these aren't really that new. So this was streamed in last November, includes copyrighted content. So we go ahead and we click on this. Okay. It says ads might appear on your video. Copyrighted content was found in your video. The claimant is allowing their content to be used in your YouTube video. However, ads might appear on it. If you agree with these conditions, you don't have to do anything. Monetized by claimant. You can use the copyrighted content in your video, but ads might appear in your video. Okay, so we can learn more. Let's go ahead and why don't we learn some more? What is a content ID claim? If you upload a video that contains copyright protected material, you could end up with a content ID claim. Companies that own music, movies, TV shows, video games, and other copyright protected material. Content owners can set content ID to block material from YouTube when a claim is made. They can also allow the video to remain live on YouTube with ads. In those cases, the revenue goes to the copyright owners of the claimed content. Okay, am I in trouble? Probably not. In most cases, getting a content ID claim isn't a bad thing for your YouTube channel. It just means, hey, we found some content in your video that's owned by someone else. It's up to the copyright owners to decide whether or not others can reuse their original material. In many cases, they allow their content to be used in YouTube videos in exchange for having ads run on those videos. These ads may play before the video or during it, blah, blah, blah. All right, they can mute it, they can block certain platforms, they can block a video. What can I do about this claim? If you get a content ID claim, there are a few different things you can do depending on the situation. You can do nothing. If you agree that, yeah, I probably shouldn't use that, you can leave it and you can always change your mind later. You can remove the music. So that's cool. You can swap the music. You can share revenue if you're a member of the YouTube Partner Program. You may be able to share revenue with the music rights owner. I actually did not know about that. That's kind of neat. You can dispute the claim. If you have the required rights to use the copyright protected content in your video, or if you think the system has somehow misidentified your video, you may dispute the claim. So how to dispute a claim? You go to, let's go back to where we were. Okay. Oh yeah, first we can check and see what exactly it is. So in this case, it was, it was a trailer for some Pokemon thing or other. We were doing live commentary, so yes, this is copyrighted content, but it's a trailer, which is generally considered to be for promotional purposes. It's very unlikely that a copyright holder would be mad at you for playing their trailer and talking about it. That's kind of like what the point of them is. Also, we're commenting on it. That's pretty well established to be a fair use case for it. So we're going to file a dispute. I believe this copyright claim is not valid because here's a few options. I own the CD, DVD, or bought the song online. By the way, if you click that, if that's your reason, you're wrong. I gave credit in the video. If you click that, that's your reason, you're wrong. The video is my original content. I own all the rights. Yep, sometimes it just flags random crap. We actually had a claim against an April Fool's video we uploaded where it was just a case lying in the rain, and it was just the sound of rain. And there was a claim that that we had used someone else's rain sound effect. And we were like, "Yo, it's just our microphone sitting on the porch." No, so that was all our original content. Here's another one. I have license or permission to use this material. Okay, my use of the content meets the legal requirements for fair use or fair dealing under applicable copyright laws. That's the one we're going to use here. Or the content is in the public domain and not eligible for copyright protection. So these are all the reasons you can say that it's fine to use it. So here we go. In the case of the Heaven benchmark, which is what I think a lot of people are getting flagged on, we don't own that. And as far as I know, Unigen gives 0 Fs about people uploading their benchmark content. They've never talked to us about it, and we've got probably hours of it in our videos, which is probably why other people are getting claims, because like we uploaded it a lot and quite early on. And it's just, you have to submit these reports, otherwise the system can't fix itself. Now, I can understand where a lot of people, whoops, I just hit a hotkey that's not a thing. Good, there we go. I can understand why a lot of people would find the wording of what would be the correct response here kind of scary. My use of the content meets the legal requirements for fair use or fair dealing under applicable copyright laws. That's a scary thing to click, because it feels like you should probably consult a lawyer before you click on something like that. But that's not necessarily the case. You know, what I would say is make sure that you, at the very least, I would say that at the very least, you should, you know, probably read up on what went down with H3H3 Productions and that person they made a reaction video of. A lot of good material there. There was a lawyer that actually did a bunch of content sort of around that. Very educational. I would like at least go read up on that, but no, not necessarily. I mean, fair use in some cases is pretty cut and dried, whereas in other cases, yeah, you might actually end up in court trying to defend it. So a lot of the time, yeah, it's probably better off to just leave it, which is why you'll see we do actually have here. If I go back to the dashboard, no, I'm not going to go back to the dashboard yet. You know what? I'm going to finish my my dispute here. Okay. I believe this is not valid because my use, blah, 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 fair use, etc. Yep, continue. I'm quite sure about this. Visual content. Please explain briefly. We are commenting on this trailer. I believe this is fair use. I have in good faith, etc., etc., etc. Thank you. I understand. Well, that's my name. Continue. And we can submit our dispute. Yes, I'm sure. So the process takes about 30 seconds, and if you do these things, you're actually helping them make the Content ID system better, because if they get a bunch of disputes, then they can go back and they can say, oh, right, okay, so that's probably not right. Let's go ahead and get that updated. So there you go, dispute in progress. Typically these take a couple of days from my experience, but that is the entire process. Hopefully that was illuminating for y'all. I think there was a thing I said I was going to get back to. I forget what it was, but let's go back to my notes here. Yeah, actually, you know what? No, I think that's pretty much all I have to say on the subject. If anyone out there did get a Content ID claim from Linus Media Group, Linus Tech Tips, any of its affiliated whatevers, unless you're actually just re-uploading our videos, which you're not supposed to do, I would say just dispute it. The worst thing that could possibly happen is we could say, nope, we dispute your dispute. We disagree. We've never done that. It's just not really a thing. People upload all kinds of like highlight reels or silly reuses of Linus Media Group content, set to songs or like whatever. We love that kind of stuff. We love our community memeing it up. We consider ourselves a fairly internet savvy company, and not just like the internet, but also just Nick, thanks, Nick. Nick told me what I was showing. I was going to show a thing that wasn't worth disputing. But we consider ourselves not just like how the internet works savvy, but also internet culture savvy. And we recognize that, memes and discussion about us is just, it's good. If people want to just like have fun with us and engage with us that way, it's great. I've gotten many everything from smile to full on laugh from the kinds of things that our community has done with our content. And I love it. So, just submit a dispute. It'll probably be fine. So Nick reminded me what I had said I was going to do. I was going to show some of the copyright notices that I considered not worth disputing. Some of these were left. This one was left in here just because it's like Wanshow. Wanshow doesn't really like make any money on AdSense anyway. Like after the first week or so, it doesn't get any views. So what am I like, what am I bothering for? It's like, it's not worth the 30 seconds it takes me to dispute the stupid thing. But some of these I left because there is actually potential legal ramifications if I dispute it and they decide they don't like my dispute and they want to go to court over whether it's fair use. So this, I think, is an example of that. The fallout for Ultimate Bomb Case build log. So here we used some kind of classical music, apparently. Yeah, so this is like music stuff, which from our experience is super complicated because there's different copyrights for the actual sheet music itself and the performance, and it varies from country to country. And we were just like, this was around the time that we were just like, you know what? Screw it. We're just gonna like pay the thousands and thousands of dollars that it costs to subscribe to a service like Warner Chappell, and we're just gonna invest in having music for our apparently I'm not showing you guys the screen right now. Sorry. Thank you, Nick. What would I do without you? You're my guardian angel. So here you go. So the fallout for Ultimate Bomb build. There you go. So here's a bunch of performances. We were just like, you know what? We're not gonna deal with that. We're just gonna spend a lot. Man, the new one we're on now is like, even I forget which one it is, but it's like even better than the Warner Chappell libraries we were using. But it's like, I don't know, it was like 15 grand a year or something stupid like that. It's amazing how much it costs to do things properly. So this is an example of one that we're just gonna leave. If they want the few $100 or whatever, then I guess they're welcome to it. Going back, there's just like some older stuff that I just didn't bother with as well. But I'm glad I didn't bother with all of them, because at least it means that I had this to show you wonderful people how to dispute a content ID claim. I guess right before I go, I should probably see if there's any like chats or anything that I should deal with. Oh, mostly just people being nice, supportive. Wow, that's kind of amazing. A couple people just want a summary of the issue since they tuned in a little bit later in the stream. Okay, so basically, people have been getting content ID claims, not to be confused with copyright strikes, from Linus Media Group, or from Fullscreen on behalf of Linus Media Group. These have been false content ID matches, a lot of them on the Heaven benchmark, not all though, and people think, and a bunch of pitchforks are being raised and torches and all that Linus Media Group is, trying to keep down smaller creators or whatever. Totally not a thing, not what happened. It's an automated system. We believe it's gotten some updates lately, and disputing content ID claims is super easy. I showed earlier on this stream how you do it. As long as you don't think the original copyright holder doesn't have a claim to it either, it's pretty safe to go ahead and just dispute those things. There's really not a lot that can go wrong. It has no long-term impact on your channel, so it's all good. We just all need to have less drama and give people the benefit of the doubt. If we have a problem with them, we need to reach out to them directly. I'm actually shockingly easy to get a hold of. I do ignore the vast majority of the tweets that get sent to my handle, just because like the last time I opened the Twitter app was on Friday when I was at work, because I don't actually Twitter because I like it. I Twitter because it's my job. There's a bombshell confession. If you send it to my email, the business inquiries only email, we actually cannot reply to every email that comes to that. We reply to the business inquiries. What we do though is read them all. So if there's something that we are getting a ton of messages about, then we will address it in some other way. I just mean we're easy to get in touch with, even if you don't necessarily get a response. And hopefully we've demonstrated that. So that's, unless Nick has got something else urgent that he feels like I need to address. I'm not a legal professional. Thank you, Nick. That's very, very helpful for me to point out to everyone. That's all I've got to say on the subject. There's no doubt that drama sells, and I'm not above monetizing the video you guys are watching right now. If I'm going to get sucked into this thing, I might as well, make a couple of shekels and, go buy some new video games to play tonight while I relax. But I have zero appetite for continuing to follow up on this. I'm only even making this as a standalone video rather than addressing it on the WAN show, because the episode of the WAN show from Friday, which should be up and contains my response to this, is still down due to a technical issue on YouTube's end. So here we are. Fortunately, YouTube streaming worked for me for a continuous however long we've been live right now, which is great. And half an hour. Holy crap, I've been doing this for half an hour. Okay, you know what? It's family day. I'm gonna go spend some time with my kids. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of your weekend or long weekend or whatever else it is that you guys are up to. See ya.